Sunday to you. By 2040, population along the Wasatch Front will increase by 65%. That's another 1.4 million people in the next 30 years. Thousands of citizens and community leaders from 4 counties came together 7 years ago to create an innovative plan for that growth. Last month, the Wasatch Front Regional Council adopted the final plan. The Wasatch Choice for 2040 project is now moving forward with extraordinary effort. We're going to talk to representatives of that effort. But first, Candace Madsen shows us our future and explains why it's becoming a model for the rest of the country.
Bruce, if we use the same development patterns of the past few decades, city and county budgets won't be able to keep up with the growth. A key to this plan is tying new developments to modern transportation.
We get to invent our future, not just walk into it.
More choices in how we live, work, play, and travel. The Wasatch Choice for 2040 plan is also expected to save $4.5 billion in infrastructure, housing, and transportation costs over 20 years. This is how. A 4-county land use and transportation vision will create 18% less traffic congestion and enhance air quality. Growth will occur around key neighborhood centers.
It is the hope and dream of every Utahn to have a safe and secure place to live and raise their family. A decent home that they can afford in a good neighborhood.
6 site plans are already at work that showcase different community types, all served by various modes of transportation. The downtown Sandy area is classified as a future urban center, which benefits a few 100,000 people and offers commerce and government services. Planners point to Salt Lake's Rio Grande area as having the potential to spur West Side development. U.S. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development Sean Donovan recently checked out the intermodal hub.
In all this work, Salt Lake City has not only been a leader, it's also been a model for the entire nation.
Instead of building roads for housing developments will be built to accommodate access to efficient transportation options, with an emphasis on public transit. Secretary Donovan believes this kind of planning will give our state a competitive edge in the global marketplace.
American businesses can't out-innovate their global competitors when our workers spend 52 cents of every dollar they earn. Think about that. 52 cents of every dollar they earn just on housing and transportation combined.
The Wasatch Choice 2040 plan also includes meticulously designed public spaces and will shelter 23 square miles from additional sprawl.
And it's about how our region will work together so our children and grandchildren can enjoy a better quality of life for tomorrow.
The next 2 years will be spent implementing this vision by providing the resources necessary to flesh out the details. The hope is that by providing examples of functional communities, other communities around the state will follow. Bruce, back to you.
Thank you, Candace Madsen. Joining us to discuss that vision of our future 30 years from now are Jan Zogmaster of the Wasatch Front Regional Council and Weber County Commissioner, and Alan Matheson, Executive Director of Envision Utah. Welcome to both of you. Utah settlements initially were sited and laid out very methodically with a lot of planning, and then it's probably fair to say that for certain number of decades, Wasatch Front just sort of grew like Topsy. Describe for us the Wasatch Front 30 years from now if we don't have some kind of a change from the same old, Jan.
Well, within our community, without some sort of change, we will continue in the direction we have been going. We will continue in developing the large spreads, the large neighborhoods, the tracts of land that will all be developed. We have a lot of agriculture within our community, and our community has expressed an interest in preserving that. Yet we still have pressure for housing development. Even in this economy, there's still development going on in Weber County.
So what you're saying is you want to have a quality of life and a style of life that still is attractive to people and not let it be the victim of its own success.
Mm-hmm.
How do we do that, Alan, without telling people how they're supposed to live and how they're supposed to use their land?
You know, Utahns are known for being able to solve problems here, and this is really developed in that spirit. So over the course of the last several years, we've involved thousands of people in expressing their hopes for the future. and how maybe the region can satisfy that.
What drives the change in that preference? Because you say you hope this will be market-driven and not imposed by anybody.
It should be market-driven. The way it's built and the way we're going about it, it will be market-driven. If the market's not there, it won't happen. But the thing that I think will drive it is that the younger population, and it's two sides. It's the younger population who are saying, you know, we're not going to spend as much time doing yard work. We want to be closer to our jobs. We want to recreate. Then we also have those who are retiring, and we've seen this in our communities, that say, you know, I still want to live in this area, but I can't afford a large home. I can't keep the farm up. I still want to stay in my community. I mean, all of these things are kind of coming to a head. We have areas in our community that are developing that these are real issues that come up as they come into the area, and they're saying, you know, we want to stay in, say, West Haven, but where's the smaller home, less yard, this type of thing. And I'm not at the point where I want to continue to drive this far. So where is it in relationship with bus or tracks, or we don't have tracks yet, we will someday, but bus or front runner or, you know, whatever transportation might be available to them? Or would it be walkable?
Alan, here are two words. One word is growth. That has positive connotations for many people. The other is sprawl. Distinguish between the two of those, would you?
Well, we could go into a lot of detail on that, but I think it's about accommodating the growth in a way that makes sense. We know that going forward we're going to have probably less public resources to invest in infrastructure. It's a good planning principle, a good government principle, that we ought to make the most of what we have. So this vision is designed to make the most of the infrastructure we have, save public funds, which means it saves each of us money as well, give people more choices about how they live and get around, and stimulate the economy.
And this vision, Jan, in 15 seconds, is for a livable, walkable, breathable, pleasant community on into several generations into the future.
It is, and we'll be looking at the examples that are done in Salt Lake and taking those tools from there that fit in with the Weber County lifestyle.
Thank you very much, Jan Zugmaster, Alan Matheson, for being our guests.